Welcome to the NBA Pub Hub, Thursday, June 17th on Pub Sports Radio. Ian Cameron, Conor Mac, Dutch Boy Fresh, and Skee Profit back in the house today after missing yesterday, back ready to break down the Thursday card. And we're all trying to pick up the pieces. We're all trying to pick up our jaws off the floor, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to say about that, whatever the hell went down last night in the two games, which is, look, I'll be honest, I was critical of the NBA 5, 10 years ago. It's too predictable. The first rounds, the favorites roll. The second rounds, the favorites roll. There's no compelling series. There's very few competitive series until we get to the conference finals. It was really that way for a long time. Well, it's like that now. It's a much different NBA now. We're seeing upsets. We're seeing comebacks. We're seeing collapses. And we saw a little bit of everything last night. We'll start with the Sixers and the Hawks, guys. I don't even know what to say here. I mean, they are completely mauling, destroying, annihilating the Atlanta Hawks for the first 24 minutes of that basketball game last night. Domination. Joel Embiid is like in the 20s in points scored. He nearly goes over his point total in the first half alone. And it just makes you think that, hey, this is going to be Philadelphia's night. They're going to truck. They're going to roll. Nice cruise. An easy victory here against the Atlanta Hawks. But then the Philadelphia 76ers ghosts of playoffs past decided to show up. Individual effort, no defense, bad coaching, everything down this stretch. Missed free throws, turnovers, the whole bit haunting this Philadelphia 76ers team. And you can put Philadelphia, you can put Milwaukee in this same boat, guys. They are gutless, mental midget basketball teams. When the going gets tough, they crumble, like a little cheap bit of plastic. They crumble like Play-Doh in your hands, that little stuff that I used to play with as a kid. Play-Doh, that's what they are. They just fall apart right in the middle, right in front of your eyes. And that's exactly what we saw from the Sixers last night. I can't even explain it. And if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, you've got to look at that game last night and say it was everything. We stopped moving the ball. We started all of a sudden just jack up these bad shots instead of running our offense. We started turning the basketball over a lot. We played terrible defense. Letting Atlanta bomb threes to get back into the game. What's the one way you have to prepare for? What's the one way you got to play defense when you're trying to protect a big lead? You got to defend the 3-point line. And the Philadelphia 76ers did not do that. And give the Atlanta Hawks credit. Trae Young was outstanding, with the amount of points he poured in, 37 in that game. Outstanding in the second half. Almost bringing that team back. Single at 36 for Seth Curry for the Sixers, and you somehow lose that game. You get 7 3-pointers and 36 points out of Seth Curry. I liked him in 3-pointers and points last night. You get 37, 13, and 5, and 4 blocked shots from Joel Embiid. I know people are giving him a hard time for missing the 2 free throws when they were down 3 late in the fourth quarter, but this ain't on Joel Embiid. This is on Ben Simmons. This is on some of those other guys that did not show up in the clutch here for the Sixers, and it's on the entire team for not playing any defense in the second half. A team that's supposed to hang their hat all season long on defense, be one of the best teams at the defensive end of the floor throughout the season, and they basically let it slide at that end of the floor last night. And now they're in the same boat as Milwaukee, going into a game 6. How do you trust this team? Do you trust their mentality? Are they fragile? Are they just? Is this a loss they cannot come back from? Is this just going to crush them and destroy them? And now they're done against Atlanta, just like we'll talk about with Milwaukee. Are they done now after collapsing the other night against Brooklyn? I worry about the fragile mentality of these two basketball teams, including the Sixers. And that's a absolutely unforgivable, inexcusable loss. I can't even believe it happened. I understand blowing the lead on the road in game 4. Embiid was struggling in that game. But what's your excuse here? Curry's lighting up Atlanta. Embiid's going nuts. You're up by 20 at home on your home floor, and you somehow spit the bit and cough that game up. I honestly can't believe I saw what I just saw. Even though the Sixers have disappointed in years past, I can't believe I saw what I saw from this group last night. Skee, we'll start with you. This was, what did you think? Hawks and the Sixers, stunning is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it up. I think Simmons is to blame too, though. Rivers is to blame. Only people I'm not blaming really is I mean, Embiid could have made a couple free throws, but I'm not too mad at him. Embiid and Curry, the only people who scored in the second half. So I just think about Doc Rivers. He ain't had success in like 10 years plus. So it's the same old Doc as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. What's up, Doc? You suck. That's what's up, Doc, right now. I mean, that's absolutely brutal right now. And he's going to start getting some criticism, and rightfully so. He flamed out with the Clippers last year. This is going to be unacceptable. They cannot get out of the second round this year with this group as good as they are, and the improvements you made in the offseason. He's still living off Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce's collective nutsacks. That's essentially what he's living off right now. Doc Rivers still to this day, that championship in Boston. Who cares anymore? You had a bunch of Hall of Famers on that team. Why don't you do something else in your coaching career? Dutch, what did you think last night?
Yeah, man. Salute to the chat. My guy Black Thor, Wyatt Chapman, Lucky Power. I see y'all, man. Hey, take a minute. Hit the motherfucking like button. If you're trying to hit the books over the motherfucking head, you must hit the like button. Do it. It takes a motherfucking 1 second. All right, now saying that last night, man, y'all said it, but I ain't gonna lie. I was pretty, happy with the outcome of the game because I had Philly first half. I had Embiid over 29.5, and we had Ben Simmons over 7.5 assists. And say what you will about Ben, but he got me my money. So, hey, after game 4, nothing surprises me with this team. Did I expect Philly to win? Absolutely. But there's a reason why I put money on the first half. I echo everything y'all said, Doc. It takes an awful lot of talent for Doc to get over the top. He underachieved in LA, and he's definitely going to underachieve in this series. It's looking like their heart is out. I mean, they ripped the heart out. And I do blame Joel Embiid. He had a great game. He got his, but those are 2 big free throws you missed right there, bro. 2 big free throws. So, I mean, it's a team.
Only 2 he missed, too.
Yeah, I mean, come on. At the most important time, come on, bro. Like, and at a point when you're the best player on the court, you win this game. You can't lose it at home. So it is on Joel Embiid. It's on Doc Rivers. It's on the whole fucking Philadelphia 76ers. Tobias Harris gets scared when it counts. I don't know what the fuck he's doing down there. We could talk about this all day. I mean, I was surprised. I was really surprised, but I was actually happy with the outcome going 3-0 in that game. So
I'm glad. Yeah, it actually wasn't that bad of an outcome as well for me because I was on Embiid. I was on Seth Curry. I was on Sixers first half, but I did split it up with full games. So I was half and half. So actually it was a good betting game for me for the most part. But still, I'm just I'm annoyed for the Sixers fans because I know a bunch of them, and they're hurting today. They feel like they've had their heart ripped out, and then someone stomped on it today with that loss last night. Absolutely pathetic by the Philadelphia 76ers. Pathetic. And now they got to show they can go on the road with their backs against the wall and win in the ATL in Game 6 tomorrow night. But you're right. From a betting perspective, Dutch, we got to look at it. We're here from a betting perspective more than anything on this show. It really wasn't that bad. It was actually profitable. So I got to smile a little bit. It was good from that standpoint. It could have been a lot worse. That's for sure. Conor Mac, absolutely staggering last night what we saw in Philly.
Yeah, I'll get with you guys. It was good for me. 3-0 day as well. But that second half, we had first half Embiid, and I had Lou Williams over points. He kind of came up big.
He sure did.
Embiid was really great in the first half, and he could have been better in the second. But like you talk, Harris, I mean, what? He's getting the basket, and then he's passing back, all this bullshit. Yeah. Looking around, I'm like, man, that was just
finish a play.
Horrible. Yeah, finish it. Simmons can't make a free throw, 4 of 14. It's just, man, it was rough. You can't even get 10 points in a game like that at home. Just get to the rack. Oh, man, that was bad. I don't know what the Sixers, I just, it's tough. And I don't even know, the Hawks took advantage, played well, of course. But I think it was more of a meltdown, and the Sixers start doing everyone looking at each other. They're just, just everything starts, shit rolls downhill, and it was just bad for him. And the Hawks took advantage, made the plays. Young was good. That what a hell of a fourth quarter. You know what I mean? They win by 3, 40-19. Just kicked their ass, and he had a lot of finger pointing. Doc Rivers, you mentioned it, Ian. I let it off. We were talking this morning that I gave him a pass, and you're like, yeah, he's got all those Hall of Famers. I'm like, yeah, maybe I gave him too much credit. He sucked. The shit he did in LA with the Clippers, and now, I mean, nice guy. I like Doc Rivers, but man, it's tough. I think it's tough for him.
timeouts enough either down the stretch. You see this because once that momentum gets slipping away from you, you've got to do something to try to change it up. And it's like a snowball effect. Once they got it within 10 points, you could see it got tense for Philly. The
everything
pressure,
tightens.
a weight on their shoulders. And I don't think Doc Rivers used enough of to take a timeout. Let's get this thing back on the tracks. He could have done better with that. Tobias Harris, you're right. Talk about coming up lame, coming up small. I didn't even mention him, and you're absolutely right to bring him up. That was a weak-ass, pathetic second-half performance from him. Talk about timid. Talk about seeing ghosts on the basketball court. That's exactly what we saw. Yeah, from Tobias Harris.
Number one that points out to me, and then we'll move on, is the Philly doesn't have a leader. They don't have someone. It doesn't even have to be the best player. They don't have a leader. They don't have someone to just put everybody in check. Just tell a Rondo, somebody. They're missing that. And that shows up big in late thirds, fourth quarters with this team.
Maybe a little JJ Redick they used to have in Philadelphia. Someone that's actually a veteran who might be able to, calm the team down a little bit. And obviously, I agree. There's definitely not enough overall individual leader. To be a leader on a team, you have to have good individuals to lead. And I don't know if they've got that right now with Philadelphia. And look, the next game we're going to talk about, it wasn't as bad as the Philly collapse, but pretty bad in its own right. The Utah Jazz shut down the Jazz Club. They're out of business. I think they're going to be out of business at this rate, this Utah team. This is a classic situation. Everybody was just thinking Utah's going to steamroll. And look, I was guilty of that because I only took him in the first quarter and first half at least. We lost the first quarter. We won the first half barely by a hook, but it got there. They were up by 5 in the first half. But, this is that classic situation. Everybody thinks no Kawhi Leonard. Clippers are hopeless to win this game in Utah. Absolutely hopeless. What happens, though? Everybody rises up, and they have this little, I don't know, maybe it's a speech before the game. The players have it, or Lou says whatever, and they say, we're going to go out there, and everybody does a little bit more. Everybody plays a little bit better, plays more minutes, makes more of an impact, be aggressive. And look, they got these out-of-this-world performances from everybody. Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris. What the hell did got into Luke frickin' Kennard last night for the LA Clippers? Unbelievable job by him. I mean, it was just a collect. They all said, you know what? We're not losing this game for Kawhi tonight. We're going to get it done. And look, hats off to Paul George. All right. We've been critical of him. We've had every reason to be harsh toward him in the past. He showed up and showed out last night. Got to give it to him. Got to give him his props. Got to give him his due. And I don't mind doing that. If you rewrite the narrative that you're soft, that you can't get it done in a big playoff game. But that was good by Paul George last night. He led high 30s in points scored. Played a great floor game. And look, Utah was no good. And Utah probably thought, you know what? No Kawhi tonight. We're back home. We beat this team in game 1 and game 2 here on this court. It's just going to be nice, easy night. Nice, easy night in a playoff game for the Utah Jazz. Well, you pay the price when you think that way. And when you let down and you think things are going to be a little bit easier because one team's without their best player, and the Utah Jazz fell smack dab into that trap last night. They didn't play well. They didn't execute well. I don't think Donovan Mitchell was 100%, but that's no excuse. It's a team game. Someone else has to step up if Donovan's not playing his best game, just like they stepped up, the LA Clippers did for Kawhi last night. So that's no excuse. I think they've completely shit themselves here, the Jazz, in terms of this series now. It's going to be difficult. They're down 3-2. Even if Kawhi doesn't come back, which we have no guarantees back for game 6 or game 7, but that's just the kind of loss that it makes you hard to believe in the Utah Jazz winning 2 straight. Skee Prophet had a great tweet earlier today. I saw it asking Twitter, who's going to come back from a 3-2 series deficit here? I honestly don't have faith in any of these jabronis right now. Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Utah, gutless playoff franchises that have fallen short year after year after year in the past few seasons. Hard to have stock in any of them right now, in my opinion. Skee, what did you think of the Clippers last night against the Jazz?
Pretty surprising. Paul George, I guess, trying to live up to a playoff P name now. Ty Lue, he's pretty good at making adjustments. And Utah, I said kind of Utah was a fraudulent team, but Mitchell looks like he's not healthy or something. I know they need Conley too, but that's a game they should have for sure won. So I agree with you. They pretty much shit the bed, and I'm not going to be surprised to see them go home. Whichever team comes out of this series, as long as, Chris Paul's not out for so long, I think the Suns don't have that much trouble with either one. So we'll see what happens in the next game. I think the Jazz, they're in a tough situation.
Yeah, and if you're the Phoenix Suns, you're hoping for Game 7, which would be Sunday between these two teams, which means the West Finals would start Tuesday, which is going to give Chris Paul even more time to get back as quickly as possible in that Western Conference Finals. But I'm kind of with Skee. It's Phoenix to me could beat either of these teams right now, in my opinion, the way they're going. And Donovan Mitchell's not right. Okay, when you're seeing him not even hit the rim on some of those 3-point shots down the stretch, like he's hitting the back.
That was rough.
He doesn't even close some of them. You could tell that's not regular Donovan Mitchell. He is clearly ailing from this little nagging ankle thing that's been bothering him. So they need Conley back. I think if they have one hope to come back in this series, Conley's got to come back at some point. Game 6, we'll see if he does. I don't have much faith because it's one of those things. They thought he would be back Game 2. No. Thought he would be back maybe Game 4. No. Still didn't come back last night. Is he even going to come back now? You got to ask yourself that about Mike Conley. What do you think, Dutch?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Eric Chain, Lucky Power, Wyatt Chapman. I see y'all, bro. When it comes to this game, man, it was this game was a little frustrating for me. I can't lie. I started off the night 3-0. I thought this first quarter was going to be a wrap. Marcus, the Morris brother hit that damn dagger, so they only end up by 1 at the end of the first. We did get there with the freshest look in the second quarter. Just barely. They won by 5. And then that third quarter, I just what happened was really what I know about Utah is they don't play no fucking perimeter D. They just don't. Their defense is horrible. Yeah, Rudy Gobert, he got D, but I mean, goddamn, move your feet. They did let Reggie Jackson, Morris, and obviously Paul George, who I'm not as down on as the rest of them. Man, he just continued to do what he's done the last 2 games. And just elevated a little bit more, to be honest with you. But it was a sporting cast to me. When you look at Reggie Jackson, I mean, he was doing his thing. You mentioned Luke Kennard, and I mentioned Morris. They were pretty much getting whatever they wanted. I was very surprised. I did not see that coming. And then Joe fucking Schmo Blow, his ass got 12 points. In the fourth, he can't give me 1 fucking free throw, 1 bucket in the fourth. So the hooker was out, and the hooker was out in Utah, and boy, did she trick my ass. Believe that, because I fell short on 12.5. So I ended up the night 1-2 in Utah. So I'm not a fan of that game last night, to be completely honest. And I don't believe this series is over by any means. Donovan Mitchell got to stop shooting these horrible ass shots. Hurt or not, quit shooting that bullshit. Jordan Clarkson, motherfucker, looked like he was lost. He had a little bit of the Tobias Harris syndrome. He was shooting some bullshit too. Looked scared, honestly, especially late. These are 2 guys. Clarkson was the guy I mentioned that he has to play well in order for them to win. He did not. Donovan Mitchell played okay. Hurt or not, make better decisions with the ball. He's shooting horrible 3-pointers. If they go in or not, I don't give a fuck. They're bad shots. They got to move the ball. We'll have a good game in Game 6, though. This series isn't over by any means, unless Kawhi suits up in Game 6. Other than that, we got ourselves a game, I believe, Game 6.
Yeah, I think Utah, if I had to pick one team to answer Skee's tweet earlier today, I'd have more faith in Utah than Milwaukee or Philadelphia right now. Maybe Philly, too. I mean, Philly, I think, still is better than Atlanta, but boy, it's hard to think that after what we saw last 2 games where they collapse and choke away a second or a halftime lead in both games. But I think in this order, I think I'm feeling most confident in Utah coming back from 3-2 down to win the series. I'm least confident in Milwaukee down 3-2 to come back and win the series. And I think Philadelphia is in the middle. I think that's probably where I'd rank them. Connor, what did you think of last night, Jazz and Clippers?
Well, it was good for the betting side, at least. Royce O'Neal got his points, his threes, and PG and Morris at the plus 140 over 2.5 got theirs. Each got 3. So, and the first half, that was close. But they got it. Clippers just played well. PG played well, and he's got it. He's got to just go on and take it. He did a great job, especially all game long, especially in the second half. Yeah, Mitchell at the end of the game, those shots you mentioned, Ian, he just didn't look right. I mean, way off. Yeah, Clarkson, at the end of the game, you got Ingles and Bogdanovich got to make shots. It didn't work out, but I think they could still win. There's no Kawhi. I think this still goes 7. But they got to give a good effort, and it should be a good one, in Game 6.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of a good one tonight, this is a good one and a big one. The Milwaukee Bucks franchise could get altered a little bit. There could be some changes, some things happening here. Shit might hit the fan if this ends tonight for the Bucks. They face elimination, Game 6 back home, Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee, hosting the Brooklyn Nets. We've got the Bucks now up to 5.5 and 6-point home favorites after opening 3.5. So it's been all Milwaukee pretty much in the betting markets in this game with the movement that we have seen. Total in the 220.5 range. We finally had an over, barely by the skin of your teeth, but we had our first over of the series in Game 5 the other night. Pretty much thank Kevin Durant and his heroic performance for that. This should be a fascinating game. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of reluctant to lay 5.5, 6 with Milwaukee. If I were to look at them, it would be first quarter, first half. It's hard for me to get away from this thought process that we're going to see something other than what we saw last night, where the team that comes out needing to win comes out fast, comes out strong, but then they get a case of the yips and they get all tense and nervous and forget what got them to that big lead in the first half, and they cough it up again. So it's kind of like a Milwaukee early, Brooklyn late kind of handicap for me in this game. That would probably be the way I would go. If you like Milwaukee, I think the first quarter and the first half has to be your stronger stance if you're going to bet the Bucks here tonight. But even then, I mean, I'm lukewarm on Milwaukee at all in this game. And there's a lot of points to be given a Nets team. I know they haven't won on the road in this series yet, but it's all about mentality. How fragile is the psyche of Milwaukee after seeing that game just crumble the other night? Giannis settling for fadeaway jumpers against a hobbled James Harden, who is a terrible defender even when he's 100% healthy. I mean, that was an indictment on Milwaukee there, and that was a sign that, hey, they don't want this one. And Charles said it in the postgame after that as well. Barkley, he mentioned it. It's 100% true. So definitely keep an eye on that. If he can step up to the plate, bad turnover in the final seconds as well. What is this? Carlisle has stepped down from the Mavericks? Is that what we're talking about here? Rick Carlisle? Big Show saying Carlisle has stepped down. So that's the end of an era in Dallas, if that's the case. Like Rick Carlisle was the coach there for that entire Dirk Nowitzki era, with Perea and go on way back down the, in the past. I mean, that's how long he's been with Dallas. So that's huge news. If that is indeed true, looks like Rick Carlisle might be resigning as head coach of the Dallas Mavericks. So we'll have more on that once we get official confirmation. But yeah, getting back to this game, it's a tough one for me all around. Side and total. Total's been adjusted. We finally got an over. Could we get one tonight? James Harden's fascinating. Steve Nash says he's feeling good. Much better than he did the last game. So last game, we didn't see Harden shoot much. When he did shoot, he was terrible. Like, he didn't make a shot. He was terrible shooting the basketball. He was basically out there as a decoy. Is basically out there as, some of the defense has to at least pay attention to him when he's on the floor. And he was basically just a facilitator in the last game, passing the ball, trying to get his open teammates good looks. So what's it going to be tonight? If Harden is feeling better, you'd think he's going to shoot the ball more, but can he make anything? That's the question. Is he going to be facilitator Harden or look for his shot, James Harden? It's a big question. That's why he's a tricky player prop for me tonight to try to bet James Harden in this game. I'm done with Joe Harris after the last game. I think I'm going to stay off that for another game. Bruce Brown is probably the guy I would look at for Brooklyn, especially on the road. He's had a couple good games in this series in Milwaukee. So Bruce Brown over points is interesting to me. Giannis, we've talked about it. He's staying under points, rebounds, and assists because they keep pricing it so high, on Giannis every game. So, the under has been cashing for the most part with that prop. So I guess up for Brooklyn, I like Bruce Brown a little bit. For the Milwaukee Bucks, probably Middleton. Middleton does shoot better at home. He's probably the one I would have to look to for Milwaukee tonight in terms of player props. But this is a really tough game. I'll be perfectly honest. I mean, I lean Milwaukee early, and I probably lean Brooklyn if I had to take the full game. Skee, what do you think here? Game 6 with the Nets and the Bucks.
If I'm looking at player props, I'll probably look at Brook Lopez. It's been over 1.5 threes, 3 of the last 4 games. I look at him for threes or rebounds. Other than that, I think we'll continue to get points like how they picked it up in the second half after they got comfortable. Like James Harden coming back, him not being 100%. Like everybody had to get comfortable playing together and seeing how it was going to work. So once they did that, it seemed like the offense was flowing. So I think we'll be back to getting points. Like the over is about 20 points below where it was for the series opener on the total. So I like over. And if I had to play a side, I agree with what you said. It'll be Bucks first half. That's the only way I look at the Bucks because Giannis is going to be scared of the ball at the end. He can't shoot free throws, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep.
And I do think that the Nets have a chance to win this game, and I would only take them on the full game spread.
Yeah, that's why Giannis has to fix this shit with the free throws, man. You're like your mid-range and three-point jumper, you can't count on it. You know, you're going to take it to the rim and they're going to try to foul your ass every time that you try to go there because they know you can't do shit at the free throw line. So what are you going to do offensively? You can't make a mid-range jump shot consistently. You can't make a three-point jimmy consistently. They'll foul you before you get to the lane because they know you're terrible at the free throw line. Where the hell are your points going to come from? So you either got to work on your jump shot or you got to work on your free throws, one or the other. You know, you want to be this great player. And could you try guarding Durant tonight, by the way, as well? Why are you delineating the assignment to PJ Tucker and other guys on you're supposed to be defensive player of the year, right? That's what I hear, this great defensive player, Yanni. Let's see it tonight. Why don't you get your ass on Durant and try to match up against him? Show the team that, hey, I'm the leader. I'm going to try to shut down their best player, their best scorer. This is me leading this team in our greatest hour of need tonight with our backs against the wall. It's time to show some fucking gumption, man. Enough already. What do you think here, Dutch, tonight? Nets and Bucks.
Yeah, real quick, shout out to our guy Razor. Razor Sharp Picks, OG Wham. Be sure you guys are tuning in to my guy OG Wham with that Wham Talk on Wednesdays. And of course, Razor be hitting them ponies straight over the head. Be sure y'all follow them too daily. He comes to you all the time with the ponies, man.
Tonight.
Tonight.
Just real quick, tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, tell
me. 4:30, 7:30 Eastern. He'll be hitting it right here in Pub Sports Radio.
Yeah, man, there you go. I know it was last night, and we'll do it tonight. I might even fuck around and have a drink with y'all. But yeah, when it comes to this game, man, I think me and Skee in the all black for a reason, boy. Someone might be getting put to sleep. You know, I think Milwaukee, I've been on that fear to deer a little bit, but I think, man, they've lost their chances. It's like, how many chances you going to have? I don't think you're going to, the one thing that we could take from the game, with James Harden back, I believe he played a lot of minutes. The cat played 45 minutes. Now he was 1 from 10 from the field, 0 from 8 from 3. I don't know if we're gonna see that again. But I don't think we will. I think that I don't believe he's in the best shape, but he got that old man game. I think he could get us 20 points, do his thing. Move the ball though. He should have double-digit assists. I expect James Harden to have a better game. The points stood out to me like crazy. It was 15.5. It's up to 16.5 now. Actually juiced a little too. So, but I
like it.
Yeah, I
like
it.
Too.
Yeah, I think KD is going to, I wouldn't be surprised if Giannis comes, but I think they're going to be sending doubles, whatever they have to do to make, KD not to beat them. I still expect KD to get, his. But I'm really looking at the supporting cast. I expect Jeff Green to have a good game. Like I mentioned, I expect James Harden to have a better game. I think, they laid dollars short. I think today might be the day that we get paid off Joe Harris. It's over 12.5 points. I mean, the guy's due. He had 19 in game 1, and it just continued he had 13 in game 2. So the first 2 games, he got over this number, and it's just continued to plateau since then. I mean, the guy was 4 for 20 the last 3 games, and coming off a 1-7 4 for 20 from 3, the last 3 games. And he's coming off a 1-7 game from 3 this previous game. I mean, the guy's the best shooter in the league percentage-wise. He's got to get there eventually. I mean, his threes are kind of juiced at over 2.5. So I look at the points over 12.5 for Joe Harris. And I don't know how you don't take Milwaukee here. My guy Wham Bam liked the plus 185, 175, whatever you can get out there. I'm going to take the 6. 5.5 is good. I expect Milwaukee to lose this game, but I definitely can't. Them points are pretty juicy right there. So I'll go ahead and take the 6, and it's going to be Brooklyn. I expect them to handle business. If not, keep this game very close.
Yeah, at the full game, I'm on Brooklyn, if anything, in the full game. Maybe early I'm interested in Milwaukee, first quarter, first half, but full game, I'm not laying 6 full game with this group. No way.
Yeah,
hey, they could be up 8 in the fourth quarter or up 10 in the fourth quarter, and then Brooklyn makes a run, Durant makes a shot, Harden makes a shot, maybe Harris, Brown, Blake Griffin chips in, whoever. And all of a sudden, if they get that lead down to 5 or so with 5 minutes left, you're not feeling good if you're laying the points with Milwaukee. Yeah. No way.
I do like Milwaukee first quarter, first half, honestly, but I think that's just getting cute. When I look at the board, what stands out to me is the value on Brooklyn. So I'm not going to get cute. I got Brooklyn full game.
Yeah, exactly. I think especially now because you opened 3.5 on Milwaukee, and now we're seeing 5.5, 6. I mean, it's just surged right up. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So I think the value too is on this Brooklyn side. I would only look at them full game. The Skee liking the over. I don't argue with that either because we finally had one the last game. And they didn't adjust the total up. It's still in that 220.5. They didn't bump it up a little because we finally got an over in the last game. So the value could still be once again to the over because again, Game 1 total opened 242.5. Look at where tonight's total is. It's more than 20 points below that. So the pendulum has swung, and the value is now on the low side, the over now in this series. What do you think here, Conor Mac? Game 6, Nets Bucks.
Yeah, I think you can look to the Bucks early, but I'm with you guys. Give me the 5.5. I mean, this has gone way too much here. And I wrote down 3 props I really looked at here. Just to be quick, Harden over 16.5. I think Durant shoots around 9 or 10 threes, over 3.5 plus 125. And Green, I saw Wham put it in the chat. You talked about it. I had written down over 13.5 plus 105. He's not going to score 27, I don't think. Harris, other guys will do better. But I think it's a decent look over 13.5 at plus money. So those are the 3 I had circled. And yeah, I don't want Yanni as I just too much crumbling always. So I don't want to lay points with him. Good luck to the people that do. Maybe they win, but no way. Give me the 5.5 with the Nets here.
Drop Wham's got me rolling or laughing here. I took the Jeff Green over 13.5. Coach Bud said they don't expect KD and Jeff Green to go off like that again. Yeah, exactly. So don't listen to Coach Bud. If you're trying to bet player props,
Coach Bud.
Shit.
Coach Booty.
Use another strategy. I'm begging you. Yeah. Don't listen to Coach Bud to help you with player prop betting.
That's the booty boy.
Sure. I wouldn't listen to him to help anybody with anything at this point. Mike Budenholzer, and obviously this could be loss of job, pink slip time if this Bucks team doesn't win this series because this isn't good enough, falling short again and not getting out of the second. I know Brooklyn's a formidable opponent, no question, but it's still a massive setback, massive disappointment. Could be some changes if indeed the Bucks get bounced. Great stuff, Skee, Connor, and Dutch. We'll get to best bets, Dutch's freshest look as well in just a second. Before we do that, as we do each and every show here on the Pub Sports Radio NBA Pub Hub, we'll pause for messages from Manscaped and Southtown 101. Southtown 101, check them out in San Antonio. Food, drinks, live music, DJ karaoke as well. Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Manscaped promo code Pub Sports. The Lawnmower 4.0, new and improved, available. If you want to purchase that, you can use promo code Pub Sports to take 20% off the purchase. Manscaped promo code Pub Sports. And mybookie.ag. Promo code Pub Sports, NHL, NBA playoffs, Major League Baseball daily. We've got U.S. Open golf this weekend. Football is 2 months away. Great time to check out mybookie.ag. Open up an account. Bitcoin accepted currency for your deposit. Mybookie.ag, promo code Pub Sports. All right, guys, just one game tonight. Best bet, it can be side, total, player prop, anything on the board for tonight's game. Skee, we'll start with you. Best bet.
Just rock with the over. I think we'll see a good amount of points in tonight's game.
All right, going with the over here, 220.5, game 6, Brooklyn, Milwaukee. Best bet for Skee Profit. Dutch, freshest look.
Yeah, man, the freshest look. We fear no motherfucking deer. It's going to be Brooklyn, full game, 5.5, 6, whatever you can get. I expect Brooklyn to win this motherfucking game. And we're going to be singing, baby, baby, I'm going to wait to the window. Getting paid, boys.
All right, awesome. Brooklyn Nets here, +6. against Milwaukee, and great value now considering it was 3.5 at the open. The money now has led to some good point spread value on Brooklyn. That's the freshest look for Dutch. Conor Mac, what do you got for best bet?
I love my guy Turnsey. Bucks win by 7. Hey, that could happen, but I'm looking at the value here. I mean, one team folds. Yeah, one team folds. I got KD, Harden's back. I like those 3. I think he gets over his points, but I'm with you, Dutch. I just think give me the points here. I don't know if they win it, but you're giving me almost 6. I'll take it. Nets full game.
Oh, man.
There you go. Nets full game +6. Best bet for Conor Mac. Mine is going to be I don't like anything, to be honest with you, in this game. I've got lukewarm player prop opinions I gave you on Bruce Brown for the Nets. I like him a little bit in this game. I maybe lean Holiday for the Bucks, but that's about it. The side and total, I'm lukewarm, but I got to pick one of the two. I'll go with that over 220.5 for best bet. I do think it makes sense. You're getting 20 points of value considering game one's total was in the 240s. And look, we finally had an over in the last game. Not a coincidence that it came with James Harden on the floor for the first time. Even if he does jack shit in terms of offense, him being out there means you at least got to respect it defensively if you're Milwaukee, and it's going to open up the floor for everybody else. So that's the difference of having James Harden out there, even if he's at less than 100%. So I think you'll see points just like you saw the last game. So we'll go with Brooklyn, Milwaukee over 220.5 for my best bet. And that'll wrap it up for the NBA Pub Hub for this Thursday. It's a huge Friday tomorrow. Make sure you don't miss the show tomorrow. We got Sixers and Hawks. We've got Clippers and Jazz, do or die for both the Jazz and the Sixers. Huge game 6s tomorrow on the show. So make sure you join us 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for the NBA Pub Hub. For Dutch.
Yeah, I did want to mention real quick, Ian, just because I'm loaded and I got this stat. I wanted to get it out real quick.
Yep.
My fault. I wrote it down, so I got to say it. But yeah, and the big thing tonight is I said move the ball with Brooklyn, and then the Nets have averaged 26 assists in the 3 wins. They're only averaging 17 in the 2 losses. So no ISO ball. Move that ball, and let's get a nice supporting cast effort. And let's get that win tonight. At least cover the 6. That's all. And shout out to my guy Razor. He says, "Do we tease the NBA? Hell, motherfucking no. Do not tease any NBA. Never. Please,
ever.
Please don't do it. And if you do it, don't tell me about it because the shit is tilting just to hear a motherfucker doing it."
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out, by the way, to everybody in the chat before we sign off.
Oh, yeah.
Miro Williams, Gravy Bets, Razor Sharp. Watch those guys tonight. Beer, the horse show tonight. Let's go. El Guapo, Jacksonville Zoe, DC, Gravy Bets. Check them out. Gerald Martinez, Trot Wham, Joel Weiss, Harold Williams, Robert Allen, who's breaking the news about Carlisle during the show. Lucky Power, Rick the Ruler. Reminds me of Slick Rick whenever I see that name. Lucky Power, Trot Wham, everybody else in the chat. Turnsey was in there. Eric Chang, everybody. Thanks for Chris, Raphael, Brian Watson, everybody, DC, everybody. Whack Prescott, like that name, Whack Prescott. Good stuff. That is the Thursday NBA show. We'll be back tomorrow on Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, for another edition of the NBA Pub Up for Skee, Dutch, and Connor. I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Thursday night. Enjoy Game 6, Brooklyn, Milwaukee. Cash some tickets. We'll see you again tomorrow on Friday for the NBA Pub Up. Dutch, take us home.
Yeah, man. Salute to the chat. The real ones. It's all love. Be sure to like and subscribe. Stay fresh. Stay blessed. And let's stay putting these motherfucking bookies to rest.
We be pumping! Get it.